So, keeping in line with our theme of bhavana, as it's called in the ancient Pali language, bhavana, which means cultivation. I want to sort of continue this thread, and as a refresher, this is about paying attention to what kind of qualities of the heart we are developing, we are cultivating, we are practicing. And this is really important. I think for most of us, we pay attention to um, what we're doing with our bodies. This time of year, there's a huge emphasis on New Year's resolutions and eating healthier, getting to the gym, trying to improve our physical habits, which is really important. And for some of us, it's, career related things or relationship, family related things that we're emphasizing and that we're looking to develop or achieve. So when we think about the practice of meditation, it's really not just about sitting and trying to find calm. That's the formal practice of meditation. But uh, a large part of this practice is actually paying attention to what we're developing, what we're cultivating, what we're inclining the mind towards every day. What are we practicing? Who are we becoming? And, this is really important in terms of who we're becoming. Any physical goal that you might have is really dependent on the mind. Why is it that you can set a New Year's resolution and then not achieve it? It's because of the mind, not the body. The body will do what the mind tells it to. And in terms of our relationships, our career, our families, what we're developing in our minds plays out externally in the world through our words and through our actions. And even if we're silent and still, there's something happening energetically. You know what it's like to be in the same room with someone who's joyful, and you know what it's like to be in the same room with someone who's angry or someone who's worried or desperate. So this time of year, especially, I think it's a great time to reintroduce this very notion of bhavana, cultivating the mind. Who are we becoming? What are we practicing? What habit structures are we strengthening? So as you sit here, again, spread your awareness throughout the whole body and really feel from the body. And I say this because the body resonates, and the body and the heart are together when we do this. When we spread the awareness throughout the whole body, our emotional center and our felt physical sense of who we are come together. So I just want you to pay attention to how it feels when I when I say what I'm about to say. I make a commitment to develop the qualities of goodness, qualities like joy, happiness, peacefulness, strength, equanimity, balance, well-being. I make the commitment to incline my mind towards gratitude, appreciation, to heighten the mind, to find my way towards freedom. Freedom from the disturbances of the heart, freedom from worry, anxiety, sorrow, anger, aversion, a sense of lacking or scarcity, to develop the mind towards goodness. And you may or may not feel it, but with practice, there's the heart and the body responds to this notion. There's something in us that wants to go in this direction, away from suffering, towards wisdom, towards peace, towards well-being. We, deep within us, we have some idea of what it's like to be well, really well. And if we're sensitive and if we're honest, we'll have some idea that we could be a little bit more well, that we have more work to do in this arena. So this is again a large part of what the practice of meditation is all about, and it's part of why when I do these sessions, um, it's part of why I talk. Actually, guided meditations that are more silence based are really helpful. Um, and if I were leading a retreat and I had you guys, for several hours every day for a few days, I would include more silence. But given that that's not the case, I find that it's really important to bring these ideas to the surface. And as you meditate, what I'm encouraging you to do is to feel your whole body and to allow the words that I'm speaking to echo in the body, to really reverberate in the body. So this is a meditation, the talk itself becomes a meditation object, right? So anyway, this was all just a large preamble. What I really want to talk about today is confidence. Confidence. And if that word, um, for some of you, that word will really mean a lot. It'll be very attractive. If not, I'll throw in a few other words that might work better for you. Composure, strength, courage, faith, lack of doubt, lack of anxiety, trust. A lot of what I'm talking about here is trust. Trust, confidence in oneself, in the unfolding of one's life. Trust in one's capacity, one's capabilities. Now, um, all of these words, right, and for the remainder of this talk, just kind of replace whatever word I end up using, which probably will be confidence. Replace that with the word that you resonate with. So, confidence is a quality of the heart. And when we have it, we end up being more effective. And, I wonder if there's anyone who disagrees with this. There, a lot of us, we get to this place in life where there's this idea of don't be overconfident. Um, And yeah, we don't want to be cocky or outwardly arrogant. We don't want to completely disregard risks. But in the sort of wisdom of the day, of the modern day, and sort of where we can arrive at in life when we've gone through trauma or loss or things not going our way for a certain amount of time, we can arrive at this sense of don't be confident. And we might not use that language, but there's a sense of we lose the confidence in our lives. Um, if we had certain dreams or ambitions, we lower them. Or, maybe we've been in a relationship for a certain amount of time, and there's a sense of this is what it is. And so we lower expectations. But anyway, there's this idea that we shouldn't be too confident. But what I'm presenting here is something is a very contradictory idea to that other notion. It's the idea that confidence is a quality in the heart, it's a factor in the mind, and when it's present, we tend to be more effective. So, for example, if you're in an interview, um, you need to be confident. If you're in a business meeting, you need to be confident. You don't need to be dishonest. You can be honest about the points in which you're not sure of. But when confidence is there in your mind, it it sort of makes you a lot more persuasive, a lot more effective, and better at communication, right? So, like in an interview setting, how are you going to make someone else confident in you if you're not confident in yourself? And this is true in sports. Um, when a player or an athlete lacks confidence, it is very clear. And so you can see in late game situations when the stakes are high, only certain players want the ball. Only certain players rise to that occasion, and they are the players who have the most confidence. And often they are not the players, and here's a very important point here. Confidence is actually it need not be dependent on circumstances. So Michael Jordan always points out, he has a famous quote. I don't remember it exactly, but the quote where he pointed out the amount of shots that he missed, the amount of games that he lost, and they were many, right? And so what I'm getting at here is if our confidence, whether it's in our careers, in our relationships, in ourselves, in our lives, when our confidence is dependent on circumstances, our confidence goes up and down. And when that confidence is low, we don't perform well. We don't feel good. We're not effective. So part of the practice of meditation or bhavana cultivation, it's about replacing unreliable sources with more reliable sources. So what I mean by that is we want a happiness that is reliable, that is less conditioned, right? We want to go towards unconditional happiness. That's why we practice. If we're able to feel happiness in meditation, that's a happiness that we achieve when we're sitting still, silent, with no external phenomena. So that's a happiness that is less conditioned than, let's say, a happiness based on winning something or watching TV or eating a nice meal. And this is kind of easy to wrap your head around, right? It's sort of relatively easy to see how a calmness achieved in meditation is less conditioned and therefore more reliable than a happiness achieved from eating food that tastes good. So, can we do the same thing with confidence, trust, composure? Can we try and really pinpoint what this word means in our heart? Can we kind of remember how it feels to really trust oneself, to really trust in one's life that whatever is happening in one's life is happening for us, not to us? Even the bad things, especially the bad things, because that's where we learn. If you continue this practice of meditation, you'll find that you're more sensitive. And so you're able to kind of pinpoint these sort of flavors or qualities that I'm talking about. You're able to really pinpoint what trust is, what confidence is, what joy is, how joy is different than peacefulness, how gratitude feels just a bit different than compassion. You're able to be sensitive. And you're able, one of the most amazing things that happens with meditation practice is that we increase malleability. The heart, the mind becomes more malleable. We're able to tune it and mold it more. So I want you to think about that feeling that you get when you wake up and you have an important meeting, or something is happening and you're feeling doubt, that kind of sunken feeling. It could be you wake up and you check your stocks and one of your largest positions is down, you know, or you check your calendar and you see that you have this uh, meeting coming up, and that client or that business partner is really harsh, and so you feel kind of sunken, you feel some doubt. Or you're going to a family gathering and there's that one uh, sibling or aunt or nephew or whoever who really rubs you the wrong way. And there's this, again, this sense of doubt, a sense of uncertainty, that sunken feeling. And just imagine what it might be like to have practiced to a point where as soon as that sunken feeling comes, you feel it, and you recognize it, and rather than jumping to what that compels you to do, which is what we normally do, rather than impulsively reacting, oh, I feel doubt in this meeting coming up, so I'm going to jump into my emails and make sure my PowerPoint is really well done, and I'm just going to work for the next 6 hours, and the sense of doubt is going to carry through. Rather than doing that, if we can actually come back to sanity, reestablish confidence, composure, trust in the mind, and then do what needs to be done, the results are totally different. Again, we are more effective when we're confident. There's a quote from Mike Tyson that I like. He said, "Confidence breeds success, and success breeds confidence." So confidence and success have a mutually supportive relationship. And really, when we think about it, confidence has a mutually supportive relationship with effort. If there's something that we want to do, but we're not confident in ourselves, we procrastinate. We don't give it as our best. If my goal is to be really healthy, but I'm not that confident in myself, I kind of know in the back of my mind, like my willpower isn't that good. And, I have all these family gatherings coming up. I'm probably going to eat the dessert that my sister-in-law brings or whatever it is, then my effort level isn't quite there. But if I can rouse confidence and just sort of decide, yeah, I want to be healthier and I can be, then we actually end up giving it more effort. So, some homework that you could do if you'd like is to just take an honest survey of your life and look at what your confidence relies on. What does it depend on? You might find that, yeah, my confidence is pretty good, but again, if my stock portfolio goes down, my confidence kind of goes down a little bit, or if my wife or husband, if they're not having a good day, if they're angry or sad or anxious or worried, if they kind of break down, I don't feel good. I don't feel confident, or if um my child is sick, then I tend to feel really worried and not put together. Or maybe it's a particular day of the week, right? People talk about the Sunday scaries, how they feel so good during the weekend, but then Sunday evening comes around and they know Monday's coming, and there's this kind of anxiety that arises. If you analyze your life and your mind in this way, you'll actually find that your confidence depends or rests upon an uneven foundation of conditions that are subject to change. And again, this practice of meditation, cultivating the mind, is really so much about making these qualities like confidence less and less conditioned until they can become completely unconditioned. So, again, spread your awareness throughout your whole body and take a moment to feel what part of this talk is the takeaway for you. What is the takeaway? What do you want to take with you when you get up from this seat? And feel your whole body. Allow that insight, that takeaway to reverberate in the body. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.